This is the Galeon 450 HTC, and I think it's one of the cleverest boats in the sector. It's incredibly versatile. As you can probably gather from the layout of this cockpit, you can have 2 or 3 cabins on the lower deck. You can have it as a flybridge, as the 440 Fly, or as this coupe guys, the HTC with the sunroof. It's such an intelligent design. I'm going to give you a full tour and show you why. And hey, if you like Galeons and you enjoy our tours, this is a great time to subscribe, hit that button and the bell icon, and you'll never miss another one. Right, let's get into it. I'm Jack Haines, welcome to YachtBuyer. Something that sets this boat apart from its rivals is the functionality of the cockpit. It really is in a class of its own when it comes to the versatility of this area, and it starts right back here at the transom where we have the hydraulic bathing platform, which is a really good size, and it has built-in steps. So as it drops down into the water, there's a nice shallow run of stairs that helps your way in and out of the sea. And then what we have here in this transom section is a really big wet bar, much bigger than if they tried to fit it into the cockpit itself. It spans this area here. It's very well kitted out with grill and sink, chopping board, area to prepare food, but it's also well connected to this area. So yes, it's out back, but you're still in connection with people who are sitting in the cockpit. Down here, there's some really nice design touches. I like the way the teak sort of flows down the transom here, and underneath you've got a pair of very useful lockers. They're nice and deep. You've got the boat hook in there at the moment, but you could put fenders in there, lines, water sports kit, sort of boot area in a very convenient place towards the back of the boat. Moving over this side, we get to Hallmark Galeon, which is the fold-down balconies. Lots of brands are doing this now, but they really were one of the first brands to do it properly, certainly on this size of boat, and you really feel the benefit at this size. You are gaining space here that you simply wouldn't have to enjoy if you didn't have them, and they've upgraded them as well as time's gone on. So we've got glass inset into them now, so you can see the water when they're down, and also you don't block your view. When they're up, you're sitting in the cockpit, you still have a nice view out through the glass over the sea. This is a nice touch as well. 2-way backrest here, so you can sit and relax, look over the water, and then when you want to go into dining mode, you just flip it back this way, and you can sit people around this table here. A table which is a really good size. It's a fiberglass table, but easy to look after if you're in places where you're going to get a lot of sun. Obviously, teak takes a real battering, but this is very easy to clean and to care for, and just folds over when you aren't using it as a dining table. And there's a nice handle to grab onto as well. And incidentally, there is a shade overhead as well, so you can peel this back. If you want a bit more sun in this area, if you want to lounge in the sun, you can do that. If you're having lunch, put the shade over, and it's really nicely protected. It's a nice useful thing as we head forward up the side deck. On both sides, the diesel fillers are under these little flaps, and they're protected by this lip, so if there's a spillage, it's not going to go all over the teak, it's going to remain in that area, and they're nicely hidden away when you're not using them. Moving forward, there's a very large side door. This is really useful. It's great at the helm, as we see when we get inside, but it also means that you can very easily get in and out of this area without having to go aft, and look how much ventilation you get with that open. It's a really good, useful piece of design. And then there's a couple of quite large steps up to the forward part of the side decks, but once you're up, they're pretty good. There's enough space for your feet. Railings are a little bit low for someone who's 6 foot, but they're nice and substantial. And then right here, this obviously isn't the flybridge version. You can have a fly version in the 440 Fly. This is the coupe. You have the sunroof, of course, which is the benefit of this design. But that adds some importance to this area because this is another outdoor living space. Nice bit of sunbathing space here, but again, they've thought about it. It's not just flat sun pads. You've got rise up backrest so you can sit a bit more comfortably, and they've even created a nice little bench right forward here. When you're moving along at displacement speed in the evening, coming back into the berth, that would be a very nice place to sit and take it all in. Let's head inside. They've got a great solution for the doors on this boat. These are designed and made in-house by Galeon, and the brilliance of them is how well they clear aside to really blend these two areas. So they slide right across, they bifold, they split and slide, and then you have this really nice link between the two spaces, but that is enhanced by yet another 2-way backrest. So you can do that, and 2 people can perch and be part of the party who are sitting in the cockpit. But there's one more good piece of functionality, because this will come out and pivot and join that bench. So then you have this unbroken seating space all the way around this area. It's a great bit of functionality that genuinely melds these two areas together better than anything else, I think, in this sector. Put this back the other way if you want to use it as a dining space. and we get the benefit of the huge glass area this boat has, and interesting use of design and materials as well. This is like a silver oak finish. There are lots of options with Galeon, but this is quite bright and quite modern. Interesting use of what looks like carpet and these uprights. And there is storage everywhere on this thing. Any little nook, cranny, cubby they can find, they've turned it into storage. Even very high up here towards the ceiling. Perfect locker to hide the sweets and the iPads from the kids. But if you're less than 6 foot tall, it's a bit of a stretch, especially up to that one by the dinette. We're talking the dinette. This is a nice space. It has this little sofa opposite as well. And then you can see the table comes up like this, so you can make it a little bit bigger if you do want to dine inside. But the bigger table outside is probably going to be the preferable place to eat if you want to do that. Moving forward, you haven't got an aft galley layout, but that works really well because we've talked about the connection of the seating down there, and I don't think there's anything wrong with the galley being next to the Helm Station. If you're on passage, if you're moving slowly, it makes it very easy to move from there to grab a drink or even make some food if you're on a longer passage. And this is a nice space, very high quality of finish as well. I love the tops, the integration of the induction hob, and some clever little bits like somewhere not only to put this, but this has a function. It creates a splashback so you don't soak all the seating down there, but it's nice that it's got somewhere to sit when it's not covering the sink. There's a little combi oven down there, and the fridge isn't enormous. It's an under-counter job, but you haven't got space to have a domestic size one, so for the size of boat, it's about as good as you're going to get. Onto the Helm Station. Now, unlike the flybridge, this is of course the only driving position you've got, so it has to be a good one, and thankfully it is. It's very nicely laid out, it's very clean and stylish. Twin MFDs optioned on this boat, which I think is what everybody is going to want. But then you've got hard switches as well. Not everything is through the screens, which I quite like to see, and these are very nicely arranged, backlit, they look very smart, and all the stuff you're going to use regularly is very easy to use and interact with. This is a sliding bench, and it's nice that it's two persons, so somebody can keep the skipper company while the boat is moving along. There's a whole raft of engine options on this model. This particular boat has got the twin shaft drive Volvo Penta 480 horsepower, top speed of about 28 knots, so this is not a performance machine. If you want plus 30 knot performance, you might want to look elsewhere, but this is about relaxed cruising, 22 to 25 knots in real comfort. That looks designed to do, and you've got a bow and stern thruster as well as an option to help with that slow speed manoeuvring. And another thing that helps with that slow speed manoeuvring is the side door. I mentioned it outside, but it means that if you're a party of two, or even if you're on your own, you have great access out onto the side decks. You can get aft really easily, help with lines, hang fenders, that sort of thing. And there's space here to just about stand. With the sunroof open, you'd have even more headroom, of course, but you can stand here, which I think is always quite nice, that you can stand, look aft really easily if you're manoeuvring slow speed. There isn't another station in the cockpit, so this is where you're going to be doing all of your manoeuvring from, but it's a really nice position. Let's head downstairs. Much like on the main deck, there's lots of versatility down here on the lower deck. You can have 2 3-cabin layouts, either with bunks on this side in place of the dayhead, or you can split the amidships cabin and have a small double and a twin. This particular boat has got the 2-cabin arrangement, and we'll start with the VIP cabin forward. We'll get on to whether this is in fact the VIP or the master cabin in a moment, but for now let's just appreciate what a well-designed cabin this is. First of all, space is good. You can see how much headroom I've got above my head. There's a decent amount of floor space at the end of the bed to move around and get changed to, and it's got split berths, so you can very quickly change this from a large double to 2 singles with a little bit of floor space in between. And there are 9 lockers for storage plus a wardrobe in this relatively compact cabin. Again, storage throughout is very impressive, and they've even managed to work in a nice little bureau over here as well, so when you've got this bed across, you can sit on the edge of that and use it to get ready before a night out. Nice detailing as well. You can see the detailing, the lighting behind the bed head there. You've got reading lights, you've got repeaters for the lights and the air conditioning, all right by your head when you're lying down in bed. And we've got triple glazing overhead as well, with an opening hatch for a bit of ventilation. Now, it has got an ensuite heads, though it is the day head, so it's not private. If you want a private bathroom, you have to head amidships. And in the 2-cabin guys, you get this full beam cabin here amidships on the boat. On the way in, you pass the ensuite bathroom, which has got a sliding door just to maximise the amount of space in there, and that is totally private, which is nice. However, I mentioned about which is the VIP and which is the owner's. Well, this is spacious in terms of its beam, but the headroom is nowhere near as good. I found a little spot here where I can stand fully upright. I can stand fully upright by the steps, so once you get into the bed, it is quite restricted. So there's an argument that actually this is perfect for kids. They can crawl into bed, chill out, they've got the bigger TV, they've got the sound bar, connect up the games console, and leave this as a bit of a playroom slash cabin, where you've got full standing head height as the adults forward. Now, as you can see, headroom down here isn't great, but actually the space around these engines to inspect them is perfectly good. You can get to the filters, the strainers, the dipsticks. I can see the shaft seals very easy from here, and all the flooring lifts up after as well, so you can get down into the bottom of the engine room to the bilges if you need to. It's very tidily arranged as well. You've got an auto reel for the shore power cable over there, the generator's very neatly encased over in the far corner. It's very, very tidy, easy to get to everything, not a huge amount of space, but very well laid out. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a like if you did. And if you want to watch more Galeon content, I sea trialed the 500 Fly in the UK. I'll put a link to that video up there. I've got loads more sea trials for you down here as well. And if you would like to subscribe, you can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.